Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are here for another game of the United Rugby Championship. The Bulls taking on Connacht. Now, the South African sides, a little bit of momentum has shifted as they are now at home. They are now playing in a heat wave, which is not fun, unless, of course, you do enjoy the heat, which at the moment the Bulls have handled very well. They are sitting in 8th, which I know doesn't sound great, but if they win this game, they shoot right up to at least 3rd, if not maybe a little higher if they can get themselves the bonus point win here up against Connacht, who are sitting in 4th though, so if Connacht win, they will actually promote themselves up to 1st on the table for a little bit of time, depending on how that Leinster versus Munster game goes, as well as Glasgow versus Ulster a little bit later on. But the Bulls have also got some reinforcements. They have returned into their side some new names as well, such as Willie LaRue. Well, I guess a new name for the Bulls, not so much for the Springboks after a successful World Cup campaign. Connacht looking strong. They've really been a side that, I guess on paper, you look at their names and you don't see too many stars, but they are still a side that have been able to put together good performance after good performance throughout the United Rugby Championship, and I feel like this game will be no different. I think they're going to be strong, and it should be exciting to see how they handle the heat at Loftus. I hope you guys are all doing very well. Hope you are excited for this game. That's the Sharks. That's the wrong team. We'll go like this. There we go. We've got the different animal. It is the Bulls, and their lineup will be as follows. It is Stennekamp in the front row alongside Akafunda Merva, as well as Wilco Lowe at number 3. We'll quickly turn down that because that is blasting in my eardrums. Ludwig at 4, and Ruan Nokia will be slotting in as the number 5. Mako van Staden, the turnover machine, had the most turnovers out of any South African player throughout the 2023-2022 season. Heinrich Lowe at number 7, and Nassim Carr as the number 8. Zach Berger and Van der Walt will be the 2 at the 19 combo. David Kriel in the midfield alongside Stedman Hans, Sergio Peterson, Sebastian de Klerk, and also Willie LaRue, like I mentioned, will be slotting in at number 15. In the chat, we have got the Ohio and Hamish. Welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing extremely well. First time following this league after the World Cup, says Andili. So a lot of the South African players, of course, returning for this week, and there's going to be a lot of excitement. I can tell you right now, after watching that game between the Lions and Zebre, it seems to be that the South African teams are just firing on another level currently, which is great to see. The Sharks currently seeing 5 losses from 5. They've got their game just around the corner up against the Dragons. I think they're going to do all right. I'm excited for it. And we have got Good Day Hamish, trust all as well. Says Arthur, it is indeed. It is almost 4 a.m. here in New Zealand, which does mean we are just around the corner from the start of this contest. But Connacht travelling. They've had a pretty decent season thus far. They are sitting on the 18 points, like I mentioned. Looking through at their starting lineup, they are going to be as follows. Buckley in the front row, alongside McElroy and Finlay Bilham. Probably the most notable name that you'll see throughout this Connacht side. It will be Murray and Joyce as the locking duo. Dowling at 6, Hurley Langton and number 7, and then Janssen as the number 8. Riley and Carty will be the 9-10 combo. Ford and Hawkshaw in the midfield. Kilgallen and number 11, Ralston number 14, and then Tian O'Halloran to slot out, or Tiernan O'Halloran, I should say, there at number 15. I thought I heard a car drifting, but it's just the weird background noise that they have got for the United Rugby Championship. The Bulls at home at Loftus. So far throughout this season, they have also started very well. They had their win over the Scarlets. They did lose to Ulster, but then from there, they got themselves to win over Zebre. They got themselves to win over Cardiff. Of course, we did see play up against the Stormers not too long ago, and then Edinburgh versus the Bulls. They were defeated by the 8 points. They were right in that contest, and I think that's the one, I guess, benefit that a lot of these South African sides have had. Even in the games that they've been losing without their internationals playing, they have still been able to do extremely well in terms of creating chances to win and being very close. Now, I will mention Connacht are wearing the skin-coloured away kit with a little bit of green on the collar. It's an interesting choice, but it does look all right, I'll say the least. But Connacht, they have had some good results too. They like scoring 34 points, definitely at the start of their season, managing to beat Glasgow, which is something not too many sides have been able to do, and also being able to beat Ulster, so actually taking down 2 of the top sides. Edinburgh, no different to what happened in the game up against the Bulls. Edinburgh on a bit of a roll at the moment. And then their game up against the Sharks, sneaking a 13-12 win. A very good win to have. And, yeah, I have to wait and see whether that momentum can continue in the heat. Jack Carty will be the captain for Connacht in this game as well, I should mention. We have got down going to the match next week, and it's currently 5 p.m. in South Africa, says Ryan. So, yeah, nice evening time for you guys. We see Willie Leroux taken to the field for the first time ever in a Bulls kit. He's a very dangerous player, and the fact that they've got Kane and Moody coming off the bench as well later on in this contest, I feel like there's a lot of potential currently for the Bulls throughout this season if they can get a couple wins in a row here while they're in South Africa. Of course, I think next week they are actually playing fellow South African side in the Sharks. Now, the Sharks might be finding their momentum by then. And evening, Hamish, good to see you and listen to your commentary once again. Thanks once again for bringing us rugby rugby around the world, says Josh Pike. Thank you very much. And I'm a Stormers fan, Hamish, you're still the best, says Stormy there. They're doing all right, the Stormers. I feel like that game last night up against Cardiff, they had the chance to win it. They just didn't quite get it right. But once they start getting it right, I think the Stormers are going to be right up there in terms of the rankings once more. And Loftus is more House of Pain, or more like House of Pain, says Undeli. Yeah, it's going to be a tough day at the office. Definitely to deal with that heat that the players are going to be taking part in. It is going to be kicked off by the Bulls, going from right to left. The sun is out. It's looking like a great afternoon for rugby. And hopefully the game does deliver. We've actually seen a lot of close results throughout this URC this far. So I hope that this one will be relatively close as well. Although I have a feeling that if either side was going to pull away, I would say that the Bulls would be the side to be able to do so. Although they do come in as underdogs. Come in as favourites. We've seen a lot of underdogs win. And I'm a Bulls fan, says Ryan in there as well. Looks like the TMO, in fact, no, it's going to be the assistant referee, was having a little bit of a problem there with his communications with the ref. But now we are good to go, True Hamish, says Stormy. And there as well, it is going to be kicked off by Jaco van der Walt. And the URC game between the Bulls and Connacht underway deep inside of Connacht territory, looking for the clearing kick, and does get it into touch about 40 metres out now. Bulls with the first attack of the game, and they all look to strike early, definitely in the heat. Someone mentioned earlier on, we're sitting at about 35 degrees Celsius. Now, that is a massive change compared to maybe the 10 degrees Celsius, if even that they have been playing in for the Northern Hemisphere. But Makavan starting off the back of the rolling maul, gets the pass away to David Kriel, was situated at inside centre for this match. Zach Berger gets it across to the captain, Ruan Nokia, for his first carry of the day. Almost getting the penalty advantage already there, the Bulls, for a Connacht player not rolling away. I can't wait, says I'm Batman. And also, hi, says Patrick Brady. Welcome in. Sling and pass from Jaco van der Walt. Shut down early was Willie Leroux. Good defence so far from Connacht. The man making the tackle on him was Murray. 5 phases put together. The Bulls on halfway. Now put back. Taken back, says the referee, so no 50-22 available here for the Bulls. Well, I don't think that has even possibly gone across their mind at the moment. They want to try and attack Heinrich Low. Another carry now back into the pocket. It is Willie Leroux, looks for the cross kick. It doesn't quite sit up though for the man out on the wing, Sebastian de Klerk. And now it will be the line out for Connacht. We have got Hi Hamish Bro, says Michelle. Welcome in, mate. Hope you're doing extremely well once more. I have to say, it's been a little while since we've actually done a stream. I think the last one was the URC last week. We kind of got into that rhythm of the World Cup, how it was live streams pretty much from Thursday morning onwards here in New Zealand and right through to Monday morning. And now that the World Cup is over, there's just so many, I guess, gaps. But we have still got some live streams coming up. We have got the Sharks versus Dragons just around the corner. And next weekend we get into Dubai Sevens, which will be taking up a lot of time. But alongside that, we are doing the URC game still. Now going back across, Connacht looking for the kick downfield from their captain, Jack Carty, into Bulls territory. Awkward bouncing one. Not really claiming that was Sergio Peterson. The Bulls gone into touch. Connacht take it quickly rather than waiting for the line out to be set. Now Carty puts a high. O'Halloran chasing after this, taken by Willie Leroux, who's normally a foundation at the back for the Springboks. That's a brilliant kick from the Bulls. It was just out before the 22. Probably a 50-23, you could say here, but Jaco van der Walt doing brilliantly there. Scottish representative. Fantastic kick. He's actually kicked that from inside of his 22. Almost had a 22-22, which you don't see too often. But keeping the ball nice and low. It was skidding dry out there at Loftus. You could certainly tell from the way that that ball rolled. Now line out throw here for Connacht going to the front. Nicely claimed by Murray. Back into the pocket. And it is going to be cleared once again from inside of their 22. Charging forward now. Looks like it will be Creel. Oh, we've got the commentary. I think it took about 3 minutes before the commentators turned on their microphone. It is going to be a 4 pass there from Billy LaRue. And the first scrum of the day now taking place for Connacht. I mentioned about the Bulls and how quickly they want to start in this game because they don't want to find themselves playing catch-up up against a side like Connacht, who have shown when they've had close games, they've been able to put the icing on the cake. They don't often let it get away from them. The only game, that's actually their future games, but the only game that they really struggled with was actually their match that they had up against the Edinburgh side. They were close, but then just conceding points at the wrong time throughout that game. Other than that, though, Connacht have been very good, winning 4 games from 4. None of those wins coming too comfortably. 8 points, the biggest margin that they have had so far throughout the season. Whereas you look at the Bulls and their big win over the Dragons, or in fact it was the Scarlets in round number 1, certainly gave them a nice momentum boost going to the short side here for Connacht. Looking for the kick in behind was Cardi. It's just managed to bounce into touch. The ball was actually touched there by the Bulls defence. So Connacht will now have themselves to line out 22 metres out from the Bulls line. Do let me know your score predictions, ladies and gents, of who you think will be walking away with the victory here. I still feel like the Bulls at Loftus, there's a reason they love playing there. And it's not because it's their home ground. It's because they've got a very good winning record there as well. Nice attacking run from Seamus Hurley-Langton. Going around the side of the breakdown now, inside ball, Ralston receives it there from Colm Riley. Now back across to this left-hand side, some good attack being put together currently 15 metres out. Big shot there on Joe Joyce. And bonus point for the Bulls, says Arthur. I could see it happening, although Connacht's defence has been relatively strong, hasn't it? But I think the benefit that the Bulls have got is if they start breaking down that Connacht defence, I don't see Connacht being able to stop them from scoring multiple tries. Perhaps even they score one and then they score like 2 or 3 within the next kind of 15-minute period. Nice backline movement here, though, for O'Halloran. Still sitting 20 metres out, tackled by Ruanukia. Going short side, Colm Riley again. Good defence from the Bulls. 10 phases back-to-back. Connacht have lost a few metres, but they have still got the position, and that is the main thing. Colm Riley goes back across to the right. Some nice pop passes here. Bulls demolished in the last 20 at altitude. Says Arthur, definitely in the heat as well. It's going to be hurting them. Sergio Peterson, great tackle made there. Bulls players leaving their feet in the breakdown. I think the main culprit there was Zach Berger, and now Connacht have got the easy 3 points if they want it. The big question is, though, do they want to go for it or do they want to go for the corner, try and apply more pressure? I think they will take the 3. We have got 27 points to 18 in favour of the Bulls. Says Ron Mulligan there. Yeah, because I believe they were $5 roughly underdogs, Connacht, for this game, which is one of the bigger margins that we have seen for this round. And it is a little bit surprising, seeing as they are sitting higher on the table, but when you take that home field advantage into consideration, the amount of sides that win at home in the URC, I think, is almost higher than any other competition in the world. So, top 14 probably could have that record as well, actually. Like a lot of sides that you think, they wouldn't win if they are away from home, do get themselves those victories. Jack Cardi. It's the first points of the day. 3-0 now for the away side, Connacht. I think I'm going to have that 1.5 litre water finished by the end of just this live stream, let alone the Sharks versus Dragons. It was a lot of random information, but the kick has gone over. 3-0 for the away side, kicking deep there. It is Van der Vault. You've got Crumpus in the chat. He said hello. Welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing all right. Hope you're very calm today and nothing's annoying you, although that's pretty tricky, I think. I hope you're doing all right. Not quite getting the kick as he would have liked there for Ford. Now the Bulls, 6 men on the 22 for their line out. Aka van der Merwe saying that there's a little bit of a gap being closed there. Which I think, yeah, he's not happy. Okay, Bulls said 6. They've got 7 players. So they're just doing the maths. Oh, in fact, Connacht have 7. Yeah, someone really forgot to count. It's claimed nicely by the Bulls. Nice short ball to Richard Creel going straight at Jack Carty. We got Crumpus with the haha in there as well. Heinrich Lowe. Oh, Nassim Carr almost through. Now, he was a sensational talent for the Wasps. They've got the advantage playing the 9. So now they can throw everything at this. Villaroo knocking the ball on, although it wasn't a very hard pass. Right behind him. Not going to be an easy one to bring in. And now the Bulls could equalise, get the 3 points if they want it. But do they? That's the big question. How aggressive do they want to be early on? This is one of their first attacks. Sorry, late as usual, says Rudy. No worries at all. We have got this one, and then we've also got the Sharks versus Dragons just around the corner. It's a real shame that Sharks-Dragons overlaps with Leinster versus Munster, because that was one of those games that I was looking forward to, but then I also was looking forward to Sharks versus Dragons because we do get to see the Springbok players returning, whether that's Eben Etzebeth, whether that's Lucanio Makazole Mapimpi. They have got some great players scattered throughout that side. And that kick has gone over from the Bulls, 3-3 after the 10 minutes. We've had quite a few low-scoring first halves in the URC, a lot of feeling out between sides. I'm going to quickly do a search and see what the other URC game that was taking place now is sitting. There is not another URC game. I thought there was another game. Edinburgh versus Benetton, I think that was taking place at the same time. No, that was last night as well, wasn't it? It's a weird schedule. The old UFC, not UFC, URC. URC, of course, rugby. UFC, different. Although, if this game gets feisty, I think that there's a few players who would kind of back themselves in a mixed martial arts outing. Box kick inside of the 22 for Zach Berger. And just running on to that one, O'Halloran wasn't able to clean it up. It has bounced back for Wilco Lowe. Now gets it across to Van der Vault, who looks for the touchline again. He's done very well with his kicking game so far throughout this match. Little bit of pressure on Carty, who handles it well. And now puts the kick downfield over the top of the Bulls. And it's gone into touch on the full. Very close to the 50-22. Bulls must win today by 20 plus, says Rudy. It would be a massive confidence booster for them. And I think that this is about the time when the South African sides really want to start picking up the momentum, because the Bulls, they're currently sitting in 8th. But they've got some big games just around the corner. And I think the biggest game, of course, not just is that game next week versus the Sharks. That is a huge one. But that game up against Saracen, the match up against Lyon, if they can win those games, advance a little bit further in the Champions Cup, that would be massive for them as well. That is a trophy that a South African side is still yet to claim, and all of them want to be the first. Beautiful inside ball there from Wilco Lowe, Aka van der Merwe in the corner. First try of the match for the Bulls. Just a little bit of momentum swinging in their favour down that wing. Great work from Van der Merwe, who looks like he's struggling a little bit. Might have injured his leg, but he scored the try in the process. The Bulls strike first in this contest. We look at that, Hamish, bro. A YouTube video on cricket match when uploading. I'm waiting for your new YouTube video, says Michelle. So we've got about 10 filmed at this stage. The reason they've been delayed is the one that I was working on currently had a few errors or technical difficulties, and I wanted to make sure that I had about 3 or 4 edited before I upload one, just so that I can upload them consistently, because I don't want to upload one and then make you guys wait a month for the next one. So I'm strategically planning it, I guess you could say, so that they all come out week after week, or maybe even, I don't know, maybe 2 times a week if we do get all organised. Jaco van der Walt are lining up this one. And also because we don't have any games that are taking place over the Christmas period, I think there's about 4 weeks when we don't play, so I want to make sure I've got videos for there as well. That kick has missed away to the sides, so score will remain at 8 points to 3. Now, I mentioned about how if the Bulls scored 1 and broke that Connacht defence, is there potential of 3 or 4 quick tries being scored? I think we're about to find that out, because the Bulls are a great side at when they've got momentum, they just keep it flowing. I feel like this game will be no different. Go like this. Go like this. There we go. Jack Carty to kick this one off again. 14 minutes into this contest. The Bulls, the home side, have got a 5-point lead. Low. Goes across to Zach Burger, who gets a good chunk of that one. They take it quickly there. Connacht, no. Thought about it. In the end, decides it's not quite the right idea. They're already under enough pressure here. They were close to scoring, though. Any Xmas planned for Uncle and Auntie, says Michelle. I actually got my mum's Christmas present yesterday, or I think it was the day before, because I got it online and it's from she'll be asleep. It's 4:15 a.m. It was from the Cricket World Cup site. So it was going to be about 15 days to get it delivered. So that is why I got it now, but got her, make sure she's asleep, got her a Black Caps kit and whatnot. So, yeah, that'll be arriving hopefully before Christmas. And then, yeah, for Dad, I've got something else planned, which we have to book at some stage. Oh, that was a forward pass, I think, almost. From Connacht. Oh, good work, though, from Jaco van der Merwe. Just loses his footing. Be careful not to give away that penalty advantage, though. That's the main thing. Byron Ralston, of course, playing for the Western Force not too long ago. And Super Rugby Pacific, only 3 months or so away from that competition starting back up. All of the squads being announced not too long ago. Attack and run from O'Halloran, but not too many gaps opening up in this Bulls defence, which does actually cause Riley to have to put it back into the pocket and give it to Carty, who has booted that one downfield. Now charging forward. Krill slings it off. Little chap in behind from Sebastian de Klerk. The ball bouncing awkwardly. Stemman Hans gives it the boot and does put it into touch. Bulls just seem like they're one little play away from striking again, and I feel like Connacht are one good line break away from getting back into this match. Keeping it close. Loftus not quite as sold out as I would have liked to see it. I'd say about 15% full, somewhere around there. I'd like to think it's a bit more full on this near side, though, due to the fact that it's in the shade and with it being so hot. So you can see Jaco van der Merwe just getting a bit of medical attention, actually to his shoulder. Now, it was his knee, I think, that he hurt while he scored that try. Now, just getting a bit of a rub down from the medic. Oh, that's a big call from the referee. They've actually said they're going to do the water break now due to there being 4 minutes till they would have had the regulated one. But that's still a long time. Like, these two sides, I know it sounds weird to say, but 24 minutes is going to feel like a long time out there on the field. Can you please remind us who is the Rugby World Champion? Says Rudy. Well, if you've already forgotten, Rudy, either one, you're still celebrating and you are drinking a huge amount of alcohol, so thinking would be hard, or 2, you just want to rub it in. But I'll say it, the Springboks, of course, double champions, 2 in a row. I was a bit disappointed with how they went in the cricket, I'll be honest. I was hoping South Africa would do a little bit better in that match up against the Aussies than they did, but Australia going on to win the whole thing. For the Cricket World Cup side of things, who is South Africa playing in the cricket next? Does anyone know? West Indies? I just had to ask, says Rudy. Xmas tree and decoration, now some exciting for just months away from Xmas around the corner. Says Vishal, I've just realised that we've got a desk in the corner that we used to put the Christmas tree up. We've got no free corners. Where do you put a Christmas tree if you haven't got anywhere to put it? Had to get a small tree, I think. Nobody won the World Cup, says Crumpus. And lol, says Robert. In there as well. They are just showing the Acha van der Merwe try. India coming to South Africa in December. Ooh. Okay, so India, they've got their matches currently up against Australia T20, don't they? Is that for Test match cricket in December, Rudy? The champions are the champions, Rudy, forever, says Eric. In there as well. Now line out throw. They have had the drinks break. 8 points to 3. Oh, that's a bad one there. Line out just not working. I think Colm Riley's saying, chuck it a bit higher to me next time. In fact, I don't even think it was actually. Who was that? Oh, that was Dowling trying to play halfback, I think. Oh, no, Dowling was the man who threw it. Riley took it nonchalantly. Is that a word? I think that's a word. Nonchalantly. Or it's something like that. Does anyone know how to actually spell that word? It's like too casual. Nonchalantly? That doesn't sound right. 3 T20s, 1 ODI, 3 Test. Says Rudy there. Could be a good watch. South Africa in home conditions. Oh, at a scrum reset. Nonchalant. What did I say? Unchalant. Nonchalantly. Chalantly's a weird word when you think about it, isn't it? Like, what is chalant? Kind of sounds like a vegetable, but not really. 25 metres out from the line, the Bulls attacking chance here. Just ticking up to a quarter of the way through this contest. Unchalantly. Okay, we've had 3 different ways of spelling at the moment. So it's one of them, I assume. Wait, no, unchalantly is what I said, wasn't it? But nonchalantly is what I meant. It is sure, isn't it? And come on, Bulls, give your best, says Greville there. Apparently a lot of pressure coming at scrum time. And nonchalant, says Crumpus in there as well. So I enjoy these live streams. Of course, not the only reason, but one of the reasons is we learn things. And that's good. Doesn't it mean, or does it mean without thinking of the consequences? Probably. So I probably not only said it wrong, but also used it wrong. Nonchalantly, as a casual, calm, and relaxed manner. Yeah, that's what I meant it as. Because he just kind of stuck his hand out and just let it slap it. Rather than, advantage to the Bulls at scrum time now. Here comes Richard Creel. In fact, David Creel, sorry. Now Zach Burger goes off to Elric Lowe. Stedman Hans, we haven't seen him with ball in hand too often. We did see him kick a little bit earlier on. Players coming in through the side, so they are going back for the original penalty in favour of the Bulls. I think they'll kick for the corner here. Willie Leroux is very keen. And he wants to make the decision. Is he captain? No, he's not captain. They've just let him, he's just going to do what he wants. He's going to kick that one in the corner. And New Zealand versus Bangladesh Test Series also coming. New Zealand started to kick off their 2000 or World Test Championship cycle after 2 days' time. Says Vishal, yeah, I'm looking forward to that series. They aren't actually too bad in terms of the start times when they are playing in Bangladesh. I believe it starts at 4:30 p.m. New Zealand time, and I think the day finishes at about 12 New Zealand time, if I'm not wrong. So it's actually, it's quite nice. Or it might even be 1 a.m., which is still a normal-ish time for myself. Now, big carry forward, 10 metres out from the line. Berger goes across to Nasim Kar. Once again, finds Mako Van Staden, isn't it, to make a huge amount of tackles as of yet. Now, David Creel. Berger going off to Wilco Lowe. Some good phase play around the side. Too strong. Elric Lowe goes in for the second try of the Bulls. They scored in the 12th. They've scored in the 20th. And they are flowing at the moment at Loftus. We have good there. Cool. Thank you, says Robert. And also, yes, you're probably right, Bredman. Also, we have good there. Always the French, says Rudy. And also Arthur, as a member for 1 month. Thank you very much, mate. Hugely appreciated. Yeah, I hope you have been enjoying those emojis. I think we've got a Christmas one, if I'm not wrong. In fact, no, not yet. I was going to say, in fact, we'll put it up in the corner, but it's still November, and I feel like that will annoy a lot of people if we were to do so. But anyone who is a member, you have got access to this emoji up there, so be sure to put it in the chat once we reach December. Try, says Rudy, and a yes, Amish Bro, New Zealand, 12 a.m. on stumps, says Michelle, and also all the emojis from Rudy there as well. And also all the emojis, well, the Christmas emoji mainly, from Robert. In fact, Robert, you would have just had Thanksgiving, wouldn't you, since you are in the US, maybe, if I'm correct? What day is Thanksgiving? Or is it not yet? It's about the 25th of November, I think. I tried to gift a membership, but messed it up. Says Arthur, I think you gifted yourself a membership, Arthur, if I'm not wrong. Because you're already a member, I believe, weren't you? So, yeah, I'm not sure whether or not it renewed yours maybe or something along those lines. It'll kick him behind from the Bulls. Doesn't quite work out. Zach Berger, they're getting a toe to it to get it down the field just that little bit further. 22 metres out from their own line now. And Connacht going for the chip and chase. Nicely claimed by Zach Berger. We have got there yesterday, says Robert. So yesterday in the US, I assume, was the 24th? I think. There we go. Arthur has gifted the membership there as well. Thank you very much, mate. Hugely appreciate it. Sebastian de Klerk, close to the touch line. I think he's been put out. Yes, he has. And the gifted membership goes straight to, it was Eric. Ended up with the gifted membership. So congratulations, Eric. You now have access to the exclusive emojis on the channel. Be sure to fire some in the chat as well. And go the Bulls, says Amber. And 24, says Robert there. And also 15 of 3, says Rudy. It certainly is. 22 minutes into this game, and it looks like there is actually another injury here. This time, Dennis Buckley is down. I think it's a finger injury, if I'm correct. Great run from Nassim Carr. Going down the wing. And just pushed into touch by the thinnest of margins. But Billy LaRue will be enjoying his time in a Bulls kit, probably not enjoying the heat. I think he's asking the ref for penalties for something, unless he was communicating with a teammate, in which case he was pretty much just yelling at them. Hello, Quinton. You are doing all right? Now overthrown. And now loose ball. Ruan Nokia gets it off to Aka van der Merwe. Ball goes up for Nassim Carr again. Zach Berger going across to the left-hand side. Mako van Staden. Pop pass up. Not quite able to get the turnover. Zach Berger going back to the left-hand side to Ludwig. Low already scoring himself one try, managing to go around the side of the breakdown and doing extremely well. Stedman Hans. Now Berger, 32 degrees in Pretoria at the moment. Yeah, it's a bit warm, which is a complete difference compared to what they've been playing in for the Northern Hemisphere games. That is going to be knocked on there by the Bulls. Thanksgiving in the US 2023 date was November 23rd, says Freedom and Truth in there as well. Oh, TMO. We don't like hearing those words anymore, or those letters. So Finley Bilham, it was actually his hand that knocked that ball free, but at that stage he was still supporting his body weight, and then he went down afterwards. So should be completely legal, and it will be a scrum for Connacht, only 10 metres out from their line. Some tired looking faces out there. I mentioned how the drinks break was taken 4 minutes early, and I think that that's going to be pretty hard on the players near the later stages of this first half. Thank you, Arthur. I was out in the backyard when I heard Hamish, says Eric in there as well. Now, having a little bit of a mini drinks break now anyway due to the injury of Finley Bilham, making sure that he is all right to continue in this contest. But I will mention anyone who is new, of course, be sure to stick around for the game between the Sharks and the Dragons. Is kicking off at 6:05 a.m. New Zealand time, so an hour 35 time is when that game is going to be taking place. There's also going to be Leinster versus Munster taking place at a very similar time, and I feel like that is going to be a pretty awesome game to watch, and we'll kind of be watching it out of the corner of our eye while covering that Sharks-Dragons game as well. are just showing that try from Elric Lowe. He will be extremely happy with it. We have got there, Quinton O'Neill, you related to Stan. Says Crumpus and also Eric. Says Arthur there as well. But 16 minutes remaining in this first half. So far, 5 defenders beaten by the Bulls, 3 defenders beaten by Connacht, but no clean breaks for Connacht in this game compared to the 2 of the Bulls, one of which led to the try. And he's gone down on the far side. I think they've actually said, yeah, Gerhard Stinnekamp, the man who's been penalised there, collapsing the scrum. And also we've got the Hamish Bro Sharks vs Dragons games next one. Says Michelle, so it certainly is. 1 hour 35. And then we are going to be straight back into the action, which is exciting because we haven't actually done 2 URC games back-to-back in a wee while, which feels a bit weird to say, seeing as for the Rugby World Cup, we were doing 3 games back-to-back, if not 4, for some of those earlier weeks. But, yeah, it'd be nice to have a couple live streams back-to-back. I feel like anything more than the 4 hours, you're starting to get into the fun zone of, like, the rugby marathon type thing. And then we'll be able to watch the end of Leinster versus Munster, although I'll probably do that by myself, I would say. Now, going back across to the right-hand side, still looking for their first line break, but Ralston decides that they don't want to do that, and he kicks the ball straight out and says, I would prefer if you guys have the line out from a bit closer to our try line. So a mistake from Ralston. The pressure's being applied at the moment by the Bulls. They've had all the pretty much all the momentum and all the ball in the last 10 or so minutes. Hamish, are you coming to Cape Town for the HSBC Sevens? I'm not going to Cape Town, but I will be covering the Cape Town Sevens. So, yeah, it's, I guess, the next best thing of not being able to go. One day I'd love to be able to go to a League of the Sevens. Of course, we've got Dubai Sevens next week and then Cape Town Sevens the week after. But we're going to be covering them both. I'm looking forward to it. I'm a little bit disappointed that South Africa and Samoa will be playing at the same time as New Zealand and Canada, just because I feel like here in New Zealand, more than likely they'll show New Zealand versus Canada rather than showing South Africa versus Samoa. And I feel like that would be an absolutely outstanding game between those two sides. Your hoodie is making me sweating. Says Rudy. And there as well, yeah, we're not quite 32 degrees here. I think we're 3 degrees. No, we might be a bit warmer than that, about 7 degrees, something like that. I'm still in shorts, but yeah, a bit chillier here than it is at Loftus at the moment. But Villy the Roo just having that knock on there, having the assist in the knock on, couldn't quite get the ball back into his hands, so then tries to tap it away. Now scrum feed for Connacht. I want to score some form of points. I also wish Canada can better their rugby. There's Quinton. Yeah, they're in a tough group for the Sevens, though, of course. Their rugby union side of things, like, I feel like there are improvements that are being made. It's just, unfortunately, in some of those big games that they needed to get right. Same with the USA. They fell into that same boat. Just not quite getting the right games or playing well in the right games to be able to make it through to that World Cup. But, of course, we're going to see a lot more of a hectic international schedule in the future, so hopefully they get a lot more game time. Brilliant penalty one for the Bulls. Ruan Nokia doing well, locking himself over the ball and not releasing penalty going his way. And I don't think the Bulls are interested in 3-pointers anymore. They're 12 points ahead. Oh, they've taken the 3-point. Why would they do that? I would have 100%, yes, it gets them outside of the 2-try window. But if you get that one in the corner and you score now, you almost seal the deal. Like, yes, this is going to still make it harder for Connacht, but not as hard as it would have been if they continued that attack. But I feel like I mentioned, it gives them that 15-point buffer. Can be extremely handy. I've also talked about the fact that it could be a tempo breaker. Try and slow down the game a bit more so that they don't get as tired. But, yeah, I would have loved to see them go for the corner, I'll be honest. That would have been what I was hoping for. That kick has gone over from Van der Vault, though. So that will now make the score 15 points to 3. South Africa Sevens must up their game with the upcoming season, says Rudy. Yeah, they've been a little bit in limbo, haven't they? The last year or so. They've been struggling big time. They lost their coach. They lost quite a few of their main players to pretty much union. I mean, we're seeing the likes of Angelo Davids now playing for the Stormers rather than on the Seventh Circuit. Lost a couple of experienced players along the way. So they're in a bit of a rebuild, and I think it's going to be important for them to have a good season just to get people back following them. It's been a shame in terms of the amount of people who, now that South Africa and the Sevens haven't been going well, have just turned their back on them. Like, the amount of people who were following them when they were on their massive winning streak was huge. And then as soon as they started losing games, I'd say, like, I'll be honest, 70%, if not more, ditched them. So hopefully, you know, if they get a bit of momentum, those loyal fans are the ones who get the rewards from it. Nice offload there from Connacht, keeping the ball alive. Billy LaRue has to make the tackle 10 metres out from the line. Connacht with the attacking opportunity. Byron Ralston. They've got the advantage as well for offside, having to wrestle himself to the ground was Kilgallen. 10 metres out from Johnson. Good to see the Bulls getting back to being more competitive, says Freedom and Truth. Also, there you are, stand in disguise, and it is very hot in Pretoria. It is the most probable reason why they took 3 points to rest, says Alfie. Yeah. It was also, you know, there's a few good reasons to take the 3 in that scenario, whether that's the heat, whether it is, Elric Lowe. Looks like his eyebrow has come off there. That's not good. They've had to make the change just for now. But yeah, I'd love to see that attacking mindset from the Bulls. And to be honest, I'd like to see it from Connacht as well. They're actually going to take the 3 points here when they're 15 down. Yes, it gets them back within a 2-try margin, but they haven't looked like they're going to score a try yet. They haven't had a line break. Yeah, interesting. I think both sides are just playing a little bit of the long game here rather than trying to get their points early. Jack Carty going to be lining up this one. He has to make sure that it does go over. Look at their eyebrow fell off. Says Krampus. Not ideal for Lowe, definitely, because he'll just want that stitch straight back on, or even just taped over for now so that he can get back out there. Try and score himself another try, but Carty does get the kick, and that'll make the score now 15 points to 6, or 18 points to 6, my apologies. Scoreboard had not quite updated. 8.5 minutes left in this first half, so Kyle Brink is on the field, while Elric Lowe is off. Morning, afternoon, and evening to all. Says Peter Wild, welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing extremely well. I hope you're excited for not just the second half of this game, but also the game just around the corner between the Sharks and the Dragons. Kicked off. Very long, little bit of a juggle there from Ford, but does manage to regather, kicking the ball into touch, and that will be about 25 metres out. He'll get sweat in his eyeball now, says Krampus. True. That is actually a fact. Apparently eyebrows are there to try and stop sweat from getting into your eyes. Can that part of your eye sweat? Or not your eye, but like your face, surely, if you're hot enough. A nice run from Maka van Stadenberger. Rough pass, but great hands from Kyle Brink as he was making his way onto the field. I was going to say he's got arms that are almost as long as his legs, and he's used every inch of it there. Now another advantage here for the Bulls. Zach Berger, sniping run. Ruan Nokia gets through. The captain scores. And the Bulls get another. I think they would have taken the 3 if they had that penalty go back. But they score the try instead. And now they move up into the 20-point margin at this point. Or at least move into the 20-point window. I looked at Pretoria on the maps to find the Bulls site. Says Eric. Good bit of work from Ruan Nokia. Almost lost his footing as he was going to score that try, but managed to just keep it underneath him. 23 points to 6. This is looking like another game that could be one-sided in favour of a South African team, similar to what we saw for the Lions in their first game of the day up against Zebre. Hello from Pretoria. Says Tanya, welcome in. And saw Newcastle, southwest of Joburg, says Eric Davison. How warm is it where you are, Tanya? I assume you're around that 32 degrees Celsius, somewhere around there. It's going to be kicked off from halfway, 15 miles from Newcastle, England, says Eric. And also, hello, Tanya, says Krampus. Nice run from Sergil Peterson. Couple extra meters made for the Bulls before they look to kick this one. Berger going back across to Elric Lowe. In fact, it's going to be Wilco Lowe, my apologies. Now Berger has been told to use it, has to move one of his own players' legs. Puts it high. Pretoria has been 36 to 37 degrees the whole week, says Arthur. So yeah, pretty warm. Now nice pop pass. Murray with the chance. Now, this is where Connacht really needs some points, and they've got their first line break. So great start there, linking up on the outside. Some wheels, though, from Sebastian de Klerk doesn't stop him. They'll check it, though, as he might have gone into touch there for Kilgallen. And 36 earlier today. Yeah, it's a bit warm, innit? Like, we were playing cricket, and it was like probably 16 or 17, and that felt warm enough. But that's just because we've only had like 10-degree days or 5-degree days. Bulls will crack 50, and I clicked on the Newcastle. First picture was the Portaloos, says Eric. And also we have got there Nuki Brown country, then Eric. Says Peter, right, they're checking this. Does he stay in the field of play? He's not really crawling forward because does the foot? Yeah, yeah. That's a sensational finish. The man's going to have a sore back tomorrow because he's bent in a way he wasn't supposed to. But gets the ball down. Connacht, their first try of the match. And now Jack Carty has to take it right from the touchline. Referee's not allowing him any closer in the field of play. 5 minutes remaining in the first half. Connacht now taking it up to 11. I think this game's going to open up in the second 40 because both of these teams, it's hot. Best way of describing it. It's just warm, so they're going to get tired. And kia ora, Hamish, still working out, bro? I am indeed, although nowhere near as many streams as we had throughout the World Cup, which I do want to change. I feel like once we have a few more games of the sevens, like next week we'll probably have maybe 30 live streams on the channel. Although a lot of those are going to be sevens, so that's only like a 25, 30 minute kind of game. But yeah, there's going to be a lot of fun coming up on the channel next week. It's actually my birthday in like a week's time. Wait, when's my birthday? Hang on. What's the date today? It is my birthday in 6 days. But I've already said, due to the Dubai Sevens and the schedule that brings, I'm probably delaying my birthday by like 2 weeks. Because or else I'm just not going to have time to do anything for it. But I've accepted that. So that is fine. I'm north of the mountain. Temp is about 2 or 3 warmer than Loftus, says Alfie. And come on, boys, keep your defence. Don't relax now. And colder here. 27 degrees Celsius in Abu Dhabi. And also we have the Happy B-Day, says Krampus. Yeah, although it's not quite. It's next Saturday. So I think what we've got on that day is the Dubai Sevens. We've also then got later on in the day the URC that we are going to be covering on the channel. That's going to be slapped away there by the Bulls. Nice attack and run from Van der Vault. And the last 20 minutes, says Arthur. And there as well. Yeah, I think this game's going to well and truly open up. Big run from Kyle Brink. Now, am I right in saying he was at the Leicester Tigers? I believe, little chipping behind from Villy LaRue. Mine's on the 30th of November, go Sagittarius. Oh, you're a little bit closer than me, only 4 days away. Have you got anything planned for your birthday? Ngati Kahu, hopefully I said that correctly. I did hesitate the first time, but I think that's correct, isn't it? Ngati Kahu. Nice kick downfield. Bulls take it quick with Villy LaRue. Now firing it across to this right-hand side. They've got Creel in the midfield. In fact, it's going to be Sebastian de Klerk. Waiting for a halfback. They haven't got one currently. A lot of the Bulls players leaving their feet in that breakdown, but no counteract there from Connacht, so no penalty coming. Put up high from Van der Vault. Running onto that one. Does get slapped back to Nassim Carr. He was a very handy player for the Wasps. Slinging pass again out wide. Little flick pass to Sebastian de Klerk. Forward pass to Willie LaRue, who will score his first try for the Bulls. Although, I think it's going to go back. He's celebrating it though, Willie LaRue. On debut, they've got to check it because I believe that one has gone forward. Family time, and yep, your pronunciation's beautiful in there as well. I just realised we're only less than a month till Christmas, ladies and gentlemen. That's a bit scary. And this year, nobody is going to stop the Bulls, says Johannes. Of course, they have had a couple defeats so far this season, but in the overall competition, I'm sure is what you are talking about in that regard. So that one, oh, hang on. That's hit a Connacht hand, so that's going to be fine. And it is going to be a Willie LaRue try on debut. To knock on, Willie fix it, says Ron there. So the try will stand. Willie LaRue on debut gets the first try. And now 30 seconds remaining. Van der Vault does get the kick over. 32 points to 13 in the first half of this contest. And go Willie score some more, says Greville there as well. Willie LaRue, of course, talking to the referee as he was scoring, telling him it wasn't a knock-on. It's going to be kicked off, put deep into the Bulls' territory. Kyle Brink breaks out of 2 tackles. I think that Berger will put this ball into touch. They don't want to use up any extra energy. And that is going to be halftime now. 32 points to 13. A very good start to this match for the Bulls. They've already secured the bonus point. All they need to do now is walk away with the victory. And they will get the full 5. Being available, we have got the tries and the Christmas emojis there from Rudy. Commentators asking the question, can Connacht come back? But I think being down by 19 in this scenario, that's 3 tries up against a side that has had more line breaks, that has had more running meters, that has scored more tries, already has a bonus point to their name. It's going to be a huge upwards battle for Connacht. I think the bigger question is, can they stop the Bulls from bringing up probably either 55 or 60 points here? Because if the Bulls do get a couple good tries, I think they'll be doing very nicely. A half-time in this contest. Dragons taking on the Bulls, the Sharks, just around the corner, ladies and gentlemen. That is in an hour and 15 minutes time, but we are starting in an hour 10. To anyone who is new, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. There will be another game taking place at a similar time, which is going to be the match between Leinster and Munster. A little bit of an Irish derby, a lot of internationals back for that game. A little bit later on today, there is also Glasgow. They'll be taking on Ulster. That will be a hard-hitting affair, but a very entertaining one as it does take place. I'll quickly look up and see what we have got in store for the URC next week, though, because I do know, of course, South Africa taking on South Africa in the South Africa derby with the Sharks up against the Stormers, I think it is. Or is it actually, no, that might be Bulls versus Sharks. Battle of Animals might be taking place next week. This will tell us. There we go. Yeah, it's actually Bulls versus Sharks next week for the URC. For Connacht, they have also got themselves a couple of games coming up in the near future. I believe their next game will actually be up against Leinster. There we go. And 7 days' time. And then they've got their game up against Bordeaux. And also, they have got Saracens. So these two sides actually both going to be taking on Saracens in the near future for that Champions Cup competition. So next week, we have got Munster versus Glasgow. That is taking place on the 2nd of December. That is on the Saturday morning here in New Zealand. Then the Bulls play the Sharks, Lions have the Dragons, Stormers have Zebre, and then also Ulster, Edinburgh, Connacht, Leinster, and Benetton versus the Ospreys. They are all the games that are taking place in round 7. Then, of course, we've got a bit of a break because of all the Champions Cup games that are taking place. And then, yeah, that's 2 weeks in a row that the Champions Cup is taking place, and then it's back to the URC just before Christmas, and that is the same for the South African sides. And at that case as well, and also we have got there, I am showing 6 subs away from 600 subscribers, also doing the live commentary for this game. Says Youngly, well, hopefully you have been enjoying it. Bulls doing very well, of course. Similar to what we saw with the Lions in the game earlier on up against Zebre, how they were able to bring that intensity. I'm back, sorry. Did they play Zebre? Yeah, they did. Who have they got next week that I said that they're playing? It's not Zebre again, is it? No, Stormers play Zebre. Lions have the Dragons. There we go. Worked it out in the end. And I found the emojis. Says Eric, and also Alfie, I agree, a Just Bulls win with more than 50. I don't think that Connacht will come back. I think the Heat will be their handicap. Yeah, I think the commentators were being optimistic when they said, can Connacht get back into this match? And don't get me wrong, if they do, I will happily accept that. But I just don't see the Bulls not scoring at least 2, if that makes sense. So, yeah, I don't think we're going to end up seeing a comeback. It's more of the case of how much can the Bulls win this game by. Hamish, you are hot enough, says Ron. You flatter me, Ron, of course. I think I do have heat stroke. I keep getting it anytime I play cricket, which is not a good thing. I'm drinking a lot of water. I just run hot, I guess. You know, just body temperature too warm. I actually compare myself to a lizard, you know. And not just because of the tongue, but also because I kind of adapt to the conditions, you know. If it's hot, I'll soak up all that heat, and then I'll just be hot. If it's cold, I'll use that heat that I've brought into my body to then be not so cold. Like a lizard. I think lizards do that, don't they? Any guys in Cape Town? Says Arthur Harrison. They're just showing a highlights reel of all of the Bulls' tries. We saw some brilliant ones. The Ruan Nokia getting in on the try-scoring action. Alaric Lowe a little bit earlier on in the game. Also seeing Acha van der Merwe doing well. Willie LaRue scoring his own try. Look at there, the George in there from Ron. George does still exist, I should mention, ladies and gentlemen. We haven't had him on the channel for a little while. Only because normally the games that we're doing currently are just at terrible hours. So it does make it very tricky to have him around. But Kiwi Lads Entertainment channel, that is where you can see George on a consistent basis. We're going to be uploading on that channel. I think we're going up to 2 times a week, if not maybe 3 in the near future for the Kiwi Lads Entertainment. We actually tried Biltong on the Kiwi Lads Entertainment channel. It didn't go well, to say the least, but that's all right. They're just showing that try being scored there once more by Kilgallen. A garden route, says Ron. Garden route, says Ron. And George is a small town near Cape Town. I thought you were talking about George as in one of the other Kiwi lads. I got confused. I just gave you a whole story you didn't ask for, so I do apologise about that. Yeah, I'm wondering, can Connacht start the second half well? I know there are still, is that reptilians around? Probably not. Is it? They're just showing that Willie LaRue try again for Christmas. Some reason, no New Zealand lamb at the grocery store. Only Australian. It tastes the same. I'm still looking. Says Robert there. I'm trying to think in terms of if New Zealanders do a lot of lamb for Christmas. So I know the turkey's quite a common one, no matter where you are in the world, or a ham. Christmas ham seems to be a thing that happens a bit in New Zealand. Surely people do beef and lamb here for Christmas. Right? Do we have any Kiwis who can help me out here in terms of what you have for your Christmas lunch or dinner? Also, small town near Cape Town, Garden Roo, says Arthur and Reptilian, says a Quinton in there. I assume that was the one that you were going for. Getting the highlight reel back to back to back, just every try that has been scored. Have you listened to David lectures? No. No, I don't listen to lectures, I have to say. I'm probably, I haven't even been able to watch, a Netflix series or anything in the past 3 months. I just haven't found the time, so. Lectures, I guess, you can slightly do while you're, doing something else, can't you? It's like listening to a podcast. Just stick it on, and then you hop in, do whatever you got to do. You just have it running, but no, I haven't seen many lectures in my time. Do we have to say? Looks like they are doing a little bit of pitch maintenance at Loftus. Of course, with it being so dry, means the turf is going to cut up a little bit. Chicken and lamb for us. Sears fleshing. I like a bit of lamb. What do you do to your lamb fleshing? Is it a bit of rosemary? That's normally quite nice, or a bit of mint, perhaps, with the lamb. I do love me a good chicken, though. I do have to be honest. A good roast chicken goes a long way. Doesn't last long, because if it's good, it's normally gone quicker. But I do like I've got a roast chicken in my fridge. I would cook it up, but it's 5 a.m. And I feel like that would be a bit of a weird time to cook a chicken. Maybe at 8 a.m. when all the streams are over, I'll give it a look. South Africa says Ron in there. The ball has been placed on the halfway line, which I assume means we aren't too far away from the next half getting underway. Roast lamb, ham, beef, pork, and crayfish for Christmas lunch in Kaitaia. And the rest of the seafood and chicken. Sounds like I need to go to Kaitaia for Christmas. That sounds like a smorgasbord and a half. Got a lot of meat there. I've never had crayfish, but I'd assume it would be all right, you know. So ever get lamb on the spit with barbecue basting, the best, says Arthur. And mint for the lamb, says Robert, in there as well. I've realised we always talk about food on these ones, and now I'm probably going to be hungry for the second half, but that is okay, because we are probably going to be eating a lot of tries in the second 40 minutes, because I don't see the Bulls not scoring 50 here, and I don't see Connacht not getting 1 or 2 more to get them back into the contest. Rosemary and garlic, some mint sauce. Sounds all right. Tongue with sweet mustard is a festive favourite at my family feasts. So like that. Is it like cow's tongue? I'd assume cow's tongues are they're quite big, aren't they? So they're probably the ones that you get your bang for your buck. Like if you were going to get like a chicken's tongue, for instance, you're only having a wee nibble. But is it like a cow's tongue? What else is a big tongue that you can put in your mouth? Lamb tongue wouldn't be big. Bull's tongue. Maybe. And my grandmum from the UK, says Robert, in there as well. See, now I really want lamb. Hi, I'm back. Says Orion, welcome in. And Powers as well. You got it all up there. He has done well, Villy, says Ron Mulligan. Second half just about to get underway. Connacht will be kicking off this one from right to left. They've got 40 minutes to try and get back into this one. My ex-wife's tongue, says Peter Wild. Someone was going to make the joke. I mean, I was insinuating something, of course. Not about your ex-wife, to clarify. Ox tongue. Yeah, that'd be pretty big, I'd assume. So what do you do to the tongue? Do you boil it or do you fry it, or what would you, if you were going to, like if someone came to you and they were like, hey, I've got this tongue. What do I do to it to make it the best tongue it can be? What would you tell them? Do you have some sort of seasoning as well that kind of makes it taste good for the tongue as well as yourself? Haha. To the right-hand side now. Nice aggression. Are you in, Quinton? Says, and Now 40 metres out. I'm back to the left. Good defence so far. Smoked is best. Oh, smoked tongue. Have to say, have not tried, so I can't judge whether or not it's good or not. Pickle and boil the tongue, says Arthur. I guess tongue's probably one of those ones that, if you like it, there's probably a few around. Mainly because, like, a lot of people would probably throw away the tongue. Like, or at least, like, here, I haven't seen any tongues in the supermarket that aren't attached to a human. Now, nice soft hands. Moving up to the 22-metre line. Cal's tongue like lunch meat, says Robert, and also slow boil, peel it, slice it, chuck it in a pan with mushrooms, fit for it, or fight for it, says Peter Wild. Now again to the right. This looks good for Connacht. Just a little bit of a loose bouncing ball. They have to make sure that they keep this ball alive. And great turnover there for the Bulls. Now he's lost his footing, so they have to release it again. So Zach Berger, he had one of the shortest turnovers we have seen. Balls come out the back. Another good carry. I see that Low is back on the field. Biltong, Snook, Bry. Nice salad, says Ron. And yes, Tanya smoked is good. Backline O'Halloran, it was close to a forward pass. I think the Bulls were arguing for. Not allowed to touch that ball. 2.5 minutes in and already 18 phases put together here from Connacht. Now to the right. Ralston tries to spin. Isn't able to get through. Good ball retention. Just not quite getting through, though, the way that they would have liked to with so many phases back-to-back. But this will be wearing on the Bulls. And hi, guys, says 123MS. Welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing extremely well. And the Bulls should score another try and score 2 penalties. Seal off this match, says Bupa. Yeah, I think they'll want more than just the one try, though. I think they'll be going for plenty. That's going to be a cross-kick attempted. It's actually opened up a bit of space. But in the end, didn't actually make that much more ground than they already had. But I believe that will reset the phases, does it? I assume so. Little kick him behind from Cardi. Manages to regain his own ball. Falling the wrong way. Oh, that's a rough pass there. Was there a hand? Maybe, but the referee says play on. Mako van Staren now. Has the ball back. Ulrich Low goes around the side. Stedman Hans. Counter-attacking opportunity for the Bulls. It's a foot race that has been lost by Connacht, and they have conceded a try. That is a perfect example of how brutal a game of rugby can be. Connacht, 20 phases back to back to back. The Bulls need 2, and they score the first try of the second half. Says Bupa, and there as well, and the Wars, sorry, says Ron there, but Stedman Hans got the ball away to Sebastian de Klerk, who was going to be caught. Ralston was wrong-footed, and Berger, as soon as he got through that first gap, he knew he was quick enough. He was going all the way. Whichever team will finish in the top 8, I think that you're at least going to see the Bulls and the Stormers in the top 8. I'll be honest, Sharks, they have the side to be able to be in the top 8. They've just, with 5 losses on the trot, it makes it pretty tricky to be able to catch up with all the other sides who are already, like, when we look at the top 8. Here it is. So pretty much top 8 at the moment, the Bulls are going to be moving up, more than likely up to 20 points. So the fact that the Sharks, at most, they can be on 5 points at the end of this round, which means they're at least 2 or 3. Oh, they're going to double check to make sure that it is all right. Okay, so even though that kick has been taken, They are going to the screen now to have a look at it. But yeah, there's a lot of work to go in. Of course, the Lions, after their win, they'll actually be, I think they're almost in that top 11 that I've got here now. Does Kirtley play for the Bulls? He certainly does. He's not playing for this game. Instead, they've actually got Kane and Moody coming off the bench as number 23. I might have to pickle and boil the tongue after Quinton O'Neill's Christmas meal, says Natikahu. And also, for now, it seems like the Bulls. And also, yeah, Bulls, says Bupar there. And I honestly see the Stormers, I see them as a side that will be able to get a little bit higher up because, but based off form, you kind of, I think I'm basing it off last year in terms of my Stormers prediction, but I still see them as a good enough side to go far. They just need to get a few wins under their belt, and I feel like their game up against Cardiff, they would have been disappointed. Right, they are just checking this to see if there was a bit of something going on. Did they play the breakdown? Oh, yes. Aka van der Merwe hit the arm of the halfback. So, as long as he's supporting the body weight, I don't think that's illegal. I think, yeah, it's a weird one because he's just hit the arm and it's not the ball out. I think that's going to be play on. Is Moody playing wing? Not sure yet. When he makes his way onto the field, though, we'll see whether he's at centre or, whether he's out on the wing. Okay, they're trying to work this out because they're trying to say Aka van der Merwe is not supporting his body weight because he's lying on a player. Now, okay, he used Connacht to be able to keep himself off the ground, so he's not supporting his body weight. Wow. It's going to be not only a cancelled try, it's also going to be a cynical infringement, and now that is going to be a yellow card. They're going to be down to 14 men. Aka van der Merwe, that's one of those ones that could have gone either way. In terms of they could have said try, they could have said no try, but in his case, he's going to the bin for 10 minutes. Apparently Moody has a hamstring problem, says Bupar. Is he still in the 23 though? In this case, Willie Leroux. A bit confused, Willie Leroux, of course, knows every rule book and every law in that rule book because he knows how to get around them. And a boxer not playing the Bulls, not playing for the Bulls yet. There's 1, 2, 3 MS, although they've got a couple who have slotted back in there. Kane and Moody being one, Willie Leroux getting that opportunity, Macho van Staden as well. So they've got at least 3 of their guys back. I meant Squid, says Quinton, and the big game for round 6 is Leinster versus Munster, says Bupar. I'm so disappointed that it overlaps with the Sharks versus Dragons. I'll be honest, I was hoping to cover both of those games. I was originally going to be covering Leinster versus Munster, and then I saw the players that have returned for the Sharks, like Etzebeth, Lukanyuam, all those men, and I decided that I'd go the other way. To be fair, we've still got time to switch to doing Leinster versus Munster if we really wanted to. We might even change our mind halfway through the Sharks versus Dragons game. We'll see how everything's going, but we've got it on standby just in case, is the best way of describing it. Now, big maul here. Connacht looking to use this man advantage. And I says, you welcome in. Hope you are doing extremely well. It's good to see you once more. And also the top 8. I do remember you. Of course, quite a wee while since we've seen you on a stream, though. It's definitely been at least a few months, if not almost a year. Again, top 8. I will be the 3 Irish teams, not Connacht, 4 South African teams, and Edinburgh. So here's 1, 2, 3 MS. Around the side, and they'll break down Connacht are over, and they'll make the most of that man advantage. Of course, that try was cancelled out earlier on, but now that is going to be the try for Connacht here. This changes momentum quite drastically here. McElroy, the man who does score the try. 1 or 2 more quick tries, they'll be in this. And top 8 will be the 4 Irish teams, and I don't know why Connacht is bad in this match. I think it's just the adjustment. At the end of the day, they have been playing in maybe 5 to 10 degree heat. Maybe a little bit warmer, maybe closer to 15, and now they're playing in 30 degree heat, and that can make a massive change in terms of your stamina, in terms of the way that you're able to play, the way that you think while you're out there. And change the scoreboard, please, thanks. Says Greville, you remember me? Says Ryan, I certainly do. Ryan, we did see a little bit earlier on the stream, of course, but yeah, we got quite a few of the regulars on these live streams, which is always nice for these late night ones. Bulls just walking to the restart. 78 tackles made by Connacht compared to the 71 of the Bulls, and Quality Channel for quality, with quality content, bro. Says, ya. And as well, usually appreciated, mate. 32 minutes remaining. Ball is knocked on there, I believe, from Connacht. Early knock on. Then there was one from the Bulls, but the Bulls will have the scrum feed. Now, they haven't got Aka van der Merwe out there, so I think they will have to make a sub to bring on. Oh, they could have Marco van Staden at hooker, actually, so they might be able to get around it. Yeah, here we go. The hooker is still coming on, though. A specialist hooker. I think they've actually said that Marco van Staden is the man who's gone off the field. Yes, he is, for Vessels. I'm from India. You are from New Zealand, right? I am indeed. So, yeah, it's currently sitting 5:12 a.m. New Zealand time. And if the Bulls will be on top this year, so here's Johannes Swanepoel. Currently score sitting 20 points for Connacht and 32 for the Bulls. So the Bulls still have that good lead. Another try would be massive for them here, though, in terms of confidence boosting. Definitely with a man disadvantage. I go for a shower and everything falls apart, says Rudy. And also we have got there, it seems like Bulls haven't fixed their defensive issues. I don't know why Jake White hired Gary Gold as defense coach, says Boopar. Yeah, it's one of those ones that, sometimes going for that risk works, and other times it unfortunately just doesn't. And I feel like that's one of those ones that maybe, they might regret. Like that, and like that as well. One moment, there we go. We have got there, Bulls need some quality forwards. Says 123 MS, and Bulls, please don't take your foot off the pedal. I give you everything, Bulls, says Greville. Almost breaking through there, though, the Bulls, they are currently on attack. 8 phases in, Sergio Pedersen trying to get the kick away. Man was actually in front, so probably lucky it didn't roll through, or else it would have been a penalty in favour of Connacht again. Now, Villy Leroux gives it off to Stedman Khan's knock on there out wide from Sebastian de Klerk. And just a few more mistakes starting to creep into the Bulls game here now. Not what they want. Oh, another change being made. That will be Oliver onto the field. That's actually for Dowling in this case. And Bulls need some quality forwards. Says 123 MS. And of course, as the Springboks return into these sides, we'll start to see a little bit more, stability in their forward backs. Don't throw this away, please, guys, says Greville. Yeah, they've given Connacht the chance to get back into this contest. Because I feel like the Bulls, going into the second half, everything was in their court. All they needed to do was just get it right. Just get those little things right throughout the game. And that yellow card hurts them. And thanks for the mahi. How you do, bro? I don't annoy the wife piece, says Natikahu. So we will see you later on, mate. And yeah, if we don't see you beforehand, hope you do have a good birthday as well. As it's only about 4 days away. Is it summer in Kiwiland, Hamish? It is. So we had like 16 degrees Celsius today, which was quite nice. Or yesterday. It's currently 6 degrees. So a good Kiwi summer. Zach Berger going off to this left-hand side. And behind Sebastian de Klerk, Stedman Hans in the midfield, taken down by the man who's recently made his way onto the field for Connacht, having to get involved early. Villy Leroux, I think he's just knocked that ball on. And I hope you reach 50k earliest as possible. Says Aryan, thanks bro, same to you. And also we have got there, Box playing for the Bulls, Van Staden, Villy and Moody as a sub. Says Bupa. So they're getting there in terms of the players they have got, and sounds like a nice winter's day. Yeah, it's still not, like, today was hot, or yesterday when I was playing cricket. I think I got heat stroke. But, like, yeah. It's still not, like, real hot. Like, when you're in the sun, you get burnt pretty quick. Got to have your sunscreen on. Nice kick downfield from Carty to relieve some of that pressure. Villy Leroux now slinging it out to de Klerk. Taken down on the halfway line, and brilliant bit of work from Connacht, who do now have the knock-on advantage. Stedman Hans trying to get in there. Who would have thought that Sebastian de Klerk would have kind of secured the 14 jersey for the Bulls? Says Bupa. Yeah, at the moment, like, he hasn't really done anything wrong, has he? Like, I know that they'll want Kutli Arnse in there at some stage, and now that they've got Villy Leroux for fullback, I doubt, that ball, it's just rolled over by this much. So we'll go right back to where it was kicked from. For Connacht, it was Jack Carty who got it slightly wrong. But yeah, a lot of these guys, I mentioned about it throughout those first few weeks, whoever's playing good during that time probably get to secure those jerseys when the international players do come back. And, that's pretty tricky to do because a lot of those international guys are off name alone get the spot. Finley Bilham, he is ranked number 3 in the overall URC rankings. We've hardly seen him today. He's almost been non-existent for this match. Still another 2.5 minutes remaining, though, of the yellow card. Still another 27 minutes remaining in this contest, so plenty of time for both of these sides to be able to get it right. Zach Berger. Put the ball in. I think Nassim Carr will back himself off the back of the scrum if it is a successful one. They get the free kick, so they'll probably end up going for the scrum once more. Okay. Commentators saying that it should now be a penalty for the Bulls rather than just a free kick. Or just a free kick. Possession at the moment, 52% for Connacht in this game, 48% for the Bulls, but they have, of course, got the extra 12 points on the board at this stage. Now, Nassim Carr has been told to use it. Gets it off to Zach Berger. Going for the grubber from behind, and that one's going to sit up awkwardly. We have got there, thanks, Bupa. In the starting lineup, Bulls need to be competitive 3 comp this year, so keep box for later. Says 1 through 3 MS. Of course, with the Champions Cup just around the corner as well, a lot of strong sides want to bring back those big players just in time for that. 50-22 attempted by Villy Leroux. And he's got it. I think it was left alone by Connacht, who decided it was going out on the full. But all that happened was Villy Leroux lined it up, got it away, and put the ball into touch. You guys think Sharks will win today? I think they've got a decent chance of getting the victory. They are actually one of the biggest favourites of the round, even though they are yet to win a game. Which just shows that with those players that they have got coming back, I think they should get the win. I'm thinking they will, but I don't want to jinx them, of course. Do you look forward to your birthday next weekend? I'll be honest, not really. Only because I know with the Dubai Sevens, I'm not going to be able to do anything for my birthday till probably 2 weeks later, or maybe midweek, but probably not midweek because no one's available midweek. So it's more of the fact I'm more excited for the Dubai Sevens than I am for my birthday, because that has taken place. That's cynical. That's going to be a yellow card here. Just a cynical infringement. Villy LaRue asking for the penalty try. Referee says no, the Sharks have been really disappointing so far. They have, but now with a few more players returning, they do normally struggle when the players return, but luckily they've got the Dragons, and I feel like that will be a nice game for them to really find their stride in. Yeah, it could be a relatively high scoring one. Oliver now going to be off the field for 10 minutes. Oh, he's ended up catching that. Now, it's an interesting one because you look at that and you see that that's a yellow card and whatnot. Now, I don't want to talk about the World Cup too much in terms of some of the decisions, but we saw that happen in the World Cup and it wasn't even a penalty, I think it was a penalty for accidental offside. No, a free kick, sorry, not even a penalty. But Nassim Carr, I mentioned how he wanted to have that ball off the back of the scrum. He's got it there and scores his third try in the URC. 57 minutes in, 37 points on the board for the Bulls. Just a flat run up against a 14-man Connacht. Was struggling to stop the Bulls with 15 men. Having that extra guy to be able to work with, it's worked very nicely. It was a big yawn. Now, Jaco van der Walt to line up this kick. Sitting 5 from 6 today. Having a good day off the kicking tee. We'll be hoping to get this one over too. And he does just that. 57.5 minutes down, 39 points to 20. They've conceded a few more tries than they would have liked, the Bulls, but they've certainly scored quite a few and now back to that 3-try buffer. So we'll be open to use. I think the Aussies will do well in the sevens. They have got a good side. I think Henry Hutchinson's hoping to be back for the Cape Town sevens. I think I heard after his big injury. Also, Kane and Moody out there on the field. Kane and Moody. Chance for him. Looks like Finley Bilham will now be making his way from the field. And like I said, just hasn't really had the impact that he would have liked. I also see Ambrose Papier has made his way out there for the Bulls. And sounds like Hendrik Wessels is going to stay out there for Aka van der Merwe as the other sub. Similani also out there. We go kicking off again. It is Connacht. And that one, I thought they were going to leave that. I thought it was going out on the full, but it has been claimed by Nassim Carr. Ambrose Papier already in the action. Has to go for this box kick from just inside of the 22 is the call. So he is able to put this ball out on the full. Bulls, please keep them from getting any bonus points. There's 1-3 MS. Nicely taken there by O'Halloran. We haven't seen him running too much throughout this game. Now back to the right-hand side. Some quick step in there. Left-hand side again now. Elo nailed in that shot. 50 metres. Can Connacht just break this line a couple more times? It's kicked him behind. He's got too much on it. He's going to keep on rolling. Although it might awkwardly bounce. Villy LaRue waiting. And does put that ball down. Now will be a goal line dropout for the Bulls. I haven't seen a huge amount of Kilgallen. Scored himself the early try. Other than that, though, just not really in it, unfortunately, for Connacht. Jaco van der Walt taking his time here. Referee telling him to hurry up. And the Stormers will be back on the winner's circle next weekend against Zebra. Says Morne Lagrange. They should be anyway. But, yeah, I think Zebra at home are a good side. Away from home, though, they do struggle. So I think that's where the Stormers will really have the advantage in that contest. And 1-2-3 EMS in the starting lineup. It's Maka van Staden and Villy. And Moody is a sub, says Bupa. And there as well, still Connacht's ball. 20 minutes remaining to get 20 points to take the lead. And that will be the knock-on. A rough pass. That was actually David Hawkshaw. Not happy about it. What a surprise have Lions been this season. So here's 1, 2, 3 MS. Andre. In fact, it was Vessels who did well there to rush up. Peter Dooley now and Hanneran making his way onto the field for Jack Carty. Connacht almost emptying their bench now. And this is where the Bulls, people have been saying the last 20 minutes, this will be when they have their real impact, and this is when they can try and break towards that 50 points. You think the Bulls will likely get another try? Yep. In fact, I think they're going to score 2. But I'll be honest, I think Connacht will also get one at some point. But they just have had those couple handling errors that have been hurting them at the most crucial times, I would say. Bruce Papier. More than one, says Ron, in there as well. Papier to feed the ball, and Nassim Kah waiting at the back for it. Now going back to the right-hand side. Van der Vault. Oh, Kane and Moody. First touch of the day, and he has dropped it. Gone straight through his hand, and now scrum feed for Connacht. David Hawkshaw rushing up. Kind of Moody at the moment, sitting number 46 in the overall for the URC top 100. Probably drops to about 58 after that drop. And the next big one is the Bulls versus the Sharks. Yep, going to be taking place on the 3rd of December here in New Zealand, or the 2nd of December for you guys in South Africa. We will be covering that game on the channel. It is a 2 a.m., so 3 p.m. start for you guys in South Africa as well. The Bulls on the charge, says Nico Davids. Yeah, if Kane and Moody had held on to that ball, who knows what kind of backline move could have been coming. Now given the chance straight back to Connacht, who are playing with a one-man disadvantage round 7, says Bupa. A ball being fed in, or is it? Oh, that's probably a penalty to the Bulls, is it? No, they've set a reset. Too much early movement from both sides. Mornay Smith, they say maybe should have been penalised, but of course not on the side where the referee was. It's harder to give those. And bloody mods nowhere to be found when you need them. Step to the rescue, says Sebastian. Welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing well. It is currently, I believe, evening in Romania for yourself, isn't it? So you probably had a busy day at work, I'd assume, or do you get the weekend? No, you don't get the weekend off, do you? Hope you are well, though, Seb. We've been enjoying some rugby, high-scoring game, which is very exciting. But we had a Fleshin in very briefly. He was talking about roast lamb and what he does to them. That's going to be a penalty to the Bulls now. In the breakdown, Maka van Staden, I mentioned about how he had the most turnovers out of any URC player from South Africa last year. And he's exactly showing why. The Springboks will be back for the Stormers next week. Says Morne Lagrange. Now Van der Vault. Kick this one towards the touchline. Mentioned we have got 30 minutes until we start the live stream for the Sharks versus Dragons, ladies and gentlemen. Then also at that same time, there is Leinster versus Munster, which is going to be a big game. And come on, boys, 2 more tries, please, says Greville there. The Bulls, they were asking for the penalty, and they did receive it. Now the line out throw here for Vessels, and Leinster versus Munster is going to be an interesting one, says Sebastian. I'll be honest, I'm still a little bit undecided because I originally was going to do Leinster-Munster as the match out of the 2 that I was going to cover. And then I changed to Sharks-Dragons because of the Springbok players returning. But then now in terms of like excitement factor, I feel like Sharks-Dragons could be extremely one-sided, and maybe Leinster-Munster's the way to go. I'm still deciding a little bit in my head. But I have to make a decision soon, of course, because the live stream for that Sharks-Dragons game starts in 30 minutes. Happy with our attack? Oh, offload not quite working out there. But Jake's, or defence, Jake White should appoint someone else. Gary Goldall, nice run down the wing. I think his foot was almost in touch from Vessels. It's been slapped back again by Connacht. And I think it's going to be another try here. I think that's the second time that a back for the Bulls has been able to score off a well, not even a miscommunication, just a misstep, miscatch from the Bulls. And Munster win, says Ron. And I was like, come on, boys, 2 more tries, please. Well, that is one of them. They have been able to get just 2 handling errors, unless the Munster has more entertainment value. I'm thinking that as well, to be honest. Like, Sharks, don't get me wrong. It's going to be great seeing the South African players back. But I'm very close to switching to Munster versus Leinster as the other stream. Especially with your fiasco going on in Dublin. I don't actually know about said fiasco, and Bulls can hit 50 points, because I honestly feel like the Sharks are going to put 50 points on the Dragons as well. Like, I was looking through this Dragons side, and there's just no, like, they've done well for what they've got, you know? Ladies and gentlemen, it has been changed. And the kick from Van der Vault has gone over. I will mention I haven't scheduled Leinster versus Munster yet. I'll have to check if I've actually got a thumbnail. No, Hamish is wrong, but I just did it. Come on, do the Sharks. Oh no, I've just unscheduled it though. What we will do though is throughout Leinster Munster's final moments, we will, or throughout that game, we'll still let you know what's happening in Sharks versus Dragons. Have I just made a bad call? Maybe. Kyle Brink. Let's run forward from him. And Bros Papia now going off to the left-hand side by the looks of it. Still 12 minutes remaining. The sad faces from Ron. And also, we have got there have been some serious riots there last night. 30 people arrested and like cops. They could barely cope. Says Sebastian. It's going to be kicked off from Imbrosa Papier. And Sharks, come on, please. Says Greville. Although I just unscheduled the stream, unfortunately. So to be able to reschedule it now, it might not go well, unfortunately. No. Change of direction again, like they've said. Nice big fan. Looked a little high in the tackle department for Sergio Pedersen. Damn lost. This is keeping its reputation as a graveyard. Foreign teams of the URC. Yep. And I don't think that will change anytime soon. Of course, they've got some big games coming up, though. And Loftus looking for the offload this time was the man who got the yellow card. And now you're going to hear it and do both, says Arthur. Well, we are going to do a little bit of a situation in terms of when Leinster Munster starts, we will be letting you know what's happening in the Sharks Dragons game as well. Now, going off to the left-hand side. Flat ball. Sharks, please, says Matthew. Am I going to Munster match? Should be more interesting. It seems like a 50-50 split, doesn't it? In terms of what people want. I wish there were 2 of me, because if I had 2 of me, I could just like have one of me on doing one stream and the other one doing the other. But now I'm still undecided now. I feel like I'm swaying back to Sharks Dragons, but I've taken down the stream and I've gotten rid of everything that I have for it. 10 minutes remaining, like 46 points to 20 at the moment is the way it's sitting. I know Irish listeners, says Ron. Well, we won't have too many for this one, mainly because I don't think we have many Connacht. Come on, change, please. Online. Can we buy the game, says Arthur. Which game you talking, Arthur? And Sharks will win, Munster will be closer, says Peter Wild. Yeah, I mean, Leinster Munster should be a closer game, shouldn't it? Like, Sharks should dominate, theoretically. Oh, yeah, okay, so you're only doing the 7s next week, and I don't think the Sharks will put 50 past the Dragons, says Mono Lagrange. We are doing the 7s and the URC next week, both of them. Going to be covered on the channel. They're at different times a little bit, so it works quite nicely. Sharks will win, Munster will be closer, and also just do Glasgow versus Ulster. I mean, that would solve some problems, of course. Sharks game, says Arthur. I think I'm going to have to reschedule the Sharks game, aren't I? Maybe. It says it's scheduled. Can I reschedule it? Does that work? Right, Sharks Dragons rescheduled, ladies and gentlemen. But we will keep you updated in terms of what's happening in Leinster Munster. This is why I was a terrible cricket captain today, because I let people sway my judgment way too easily. As a Bulls fan, I hope the Sharks don't have a comeback next week at Loftus, but I trust the Bulls, and also Sharks 34-19. Yep, come on, GP. Says Greville, nice short ball. It's loose from Ralston. Mornay Smith picks the ball up, and Bulls have the best fullback. I like a good fullback strategy. If they get a good defensive strategy, they will win everything. Says 1-2-3 MS. The Sharks game says after one. Now you don't have to, because wait, or were you talking about buying me to do the game in terms of bribing, or were you talking about where to be able to watch it? Sharks 34, the Dragons. We have got the super sticker from Arthur, so he is buying my. Well, I mean, that's the best way of doing it, really, isn't it? Because at the end of the day, I can't really turn down the money. And we have got their 1-2-3 MS. I think our forward's beefy this season. Or are beefy. I should say, but Chris Smith has made his way onto the field. Currently 8 minutes away from full time. Yes, thanks, says Matthews. And as well, is Mutton Zemo on Hamish? He is. I think he came on at about that maybe 60-minute mark. He's at about 12 minutes so far. And this match for now, 25 metres out from the line. And Bruce Papia goes back to Nassim Kha. He's had a good game. And number 8, Papia gets it back to Vili LaRue. Now it is going to be Matan Zima. Now Vili LaRue going out wide. Krill, Sebastian de Klerk. And I also see you off to find Munster broadcast, says Peter, although the game does start quite late, Peter Wild. So by that stage, the match between the Sharks and the Dragons will almost be over. Our Wealth opens doors, says Sebastian. That's a good run from Chris Smith. And scores a try. We've got another super sticker from Arthur in there as well. But yeah, we will keep you updated in terms of the Munster versus Leinster's. Oh no, I was just but yeah, I wasn't good as captain today for the cricket because our captain, he hurt himself. He ended up hurting his shoulder. So they were like, Amish, you can be captain. And I was like, that's a terrible idea. Because like bowling choices, trying to be decisive is not my strong suit, as you guys know. So they were like, who do you want to bowl? And I was like, oh, I might go with this guy. And then someone from way over would be like, bowl him. Be like, bugger off. No, I didn't do that, but I should have, because I was the captain. Yes, Connacht will be gutted with this result, and that now brings up the 50 points as well, I should mention, for the Bulls. Mr. Stormers game, bloody load shedding, is back with a vengeance this weekend. I actually thought the Stormers game was a draw, because I looked at the result on my way to cricket, and I saw 24-24, and I was like, oh, okay. Close game. And then I looked again later and it was like 31-24 in favour of Cardiff. That kick has gone over from Chris Smith, making the score now 53 points to 20 here. And 50 for the Bull, says a Bupa there. Chris Smith getting celebrated by his teammates. 6 minutes remaining. The next live stream, ladies and gents, will be starting at 6 a.m. New Zealand time, which is only 20 minutes away. And it is Sharks versus Dragons, just to confirm. But hopefully it's a good game. Hopefully it's closer than we think it will be. And Bruce Papia now, rolling the ball back. Let's put plenty of height on it. Let's go for 60, says Greville. Nicely taken. Now Connacht, last chance for them bats in this contest. Try and get it right, looking for the offload now. Manages to find out a lovely losing streak the Stormers are on. Lols, says Cited. And it's interesting, isn't it? Because they started off as one of the sides who were on the winning streak. They were actually, I think, top of the table almost at one stage. I don't fancy Dragons' chances. Yeah, it's not looking good for them. I'll be honest, like they've got maybe about 3 real notable players that could have a real impact, and then a lot of the other guys are a little bit of the unknown. Plus the fact that they're going up against a side that have got their internationals back in Lucanio Arm, Eben Etzebeth. It's going to be a tough day at the office. and a high-scoring one at that. It's going to be kicked into touch. 5 metres out from the line now, Connacht. Another attacking chance. Unable to roll away. In that case, like they said, trapped in the breakdown, Van Staden had nowhere to go. So he just had to lie there and be like, meh, I'm stuck. Who's the top team this week? Says Saito. At the moment on the table, it is still Leinster, but there is a high possibility that someone else... Oh, it depends, because if Leinster win, they might be just that little bit further up. I'll actually show you the table. So Leinster are sitting on 20. Glasgow, honestly, could go ahead if they get themselves a big win over Ulster, but that's tricky to do because Ulster are good. So, you know, there's about 4 sides at the moment who can all fight for that number 1 spot, and the Bulls are actually one of them. Their points differential's looking real good here. 33 extra points added on to their 58 that they've got would actually put them at the top of the bunch at the end of this game. But they, of course, have that extra game in hand. Only 5 metres out from the line now. Connacht, they get themselves another penalty just out from the try line there. It's the first time Stormers didn't win any games on tour. I mean, last year they were phenomenal, weren't they? They were winning game after game after game. Only plus for them is that the Sharks are struggling a bit this season. Who knows, mate? Says Sebastian. Hopefully it's close. That's what we're hoping for. Or at least it's an entertaining, like, if it's a one-sided game, I just hope that it's like one that's got some good tries in there, you know? We want to see some tries being scored. That's a hard hit on the head. Dropping right on his nose, but 1 metre out from the line. Connacht. Can they get over again? They're actually, I think they're 1 try away from a bonus point after this try, and they have got over. So that'll now take them up to 25. Don't get me wrong, the Bulls will be more than happy with their attack. Their defence, though, I think they'll still be a little bit frustrated with the amount of tries that they have conceded. Seamus Hurley-Langton, the man who got that try. And load shedding, we have a machine. Miss some, says Rock Hard Cafe. Now 2 minutes remaining. So the referee is going to give one last warning to the Bulls as well for their discipline here. I don't think it's going to matter too much. Only 2 minutes remaining in this match. The World Cup players all integrated for this weekend's game. Almost. I think there's still a few who are missing, but they're slowly coming back in now. So for the Sharks, they've got Eben Etzebeth, Lucanio Arm, Makazole Mapimpi, I think is returning out to that left wing. So 3 big players to get the chance now. And then, yeah, for the Bulls, they've had 3 players here. They've had Marco van Staden, Villy LaRue, and his debut managed to score himself a try as well. And then Kanan Moody, the other man. Oh, well, we conceded another try, damn. Says Bupa, yeah, it won't be what they want. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's still a big win. Still a lot of points for them scoring-wise, but they won't want to concede 3 tries. They won't want to concede 4, which is a chance that Connacht could get it here. It's kicked deep. Nicely run onto it there for Connacht. Attacking run from Ford. Back across Blade. Nice short ball. Here come Connacht. This is something that they should have done 20 minutes ago. Now Ralston, inside ball. Good attack and run from Blade again. And another penalty advantage against the Bulls here. Bouncing pass, doesn't work out. Sits up at the back though. And like they've said, still in with the bonus point shot if they can score once more, which will be the minimum that they want in this contest. It would be a massive bonus for them right at the end to be able to walk away with that bonus point. Now back across to the left-hand side, looping around nicely here. O'Halloran look to find the gap. Quick hands again. That'll be slapped down by Ambrose Papia. They'll go back for the penalty. We have there just had a look at the Leinster lineup. Their full strength is intimidating. To be honest, yeah, they got a good side. Like Munster, I'll be honest, like there's a chance, I hope not, but there is a chance that Leinster, like they're about $1.02 favourites compared to Munster $7.50 underdogs. Like there's also a chance that Leinster dominate that game, to be honest. Like I hope it doesn't happen. I hope it's a real close game. I guess for our sake, in terms of since we're not doing the game, it would be better to be a one-sided game. But like, yeah, I honestly, like you look through their Leinster side and you think, ooh, wouldn't want to play them. That's for sure. But that is the end of the game. Chris Smith taps and kicks the ball into touch. And the score, 53 points to 27. We got to see an 80-point game here between these two sides, but it will be the Bulls walking away with the 5 points. Connacht do not receive any. They will sit on the 0 for this game. But the next game just around the corner, 15 minutes away. I know there is nobody to compare with. The Bulls go the Bulls, and thank you, Hamish. Says Robert. So yeah, we are returning in 14 minutes time, ladies and gentlemen, for Sharks versus Dragons. So be sure to check that out. Be sure to pop in, say hello, stick around for a bit of fun, because hopefully that game has got just that. But thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you all for the next one.